Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're basically stepping into a scientific detective story. If you've been doing everything right with your health, hitting the gym, watching what you eat, but you still feel completely stuck, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to uncover a hidden saboteur inside your biology that is actively blocking your progress. And honestly, more importantly, we're going to map out exactly how to disarm it using the fascinating science of your very own nervous system and metabolism. Let's get into it.
So let's just tackle this incredibly frustrating question right out of the gate. Why on earth are you gaining weight or hitting a wall even when you're eating way less and exercising more? It's literally maddening, right? But I really want to validate that frustration for you today because your body is not broken. It is not working against you. Actually, scratch that. It's fiercely trying to protect you. The real issue is that it's protecting you from the completely wrong threat, and we really need to understand how that's happening.
Meet the hidden biological villain responsible for that sluggish metabolism, cortisol. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone. Now, biologically speaking, it's designed to spike when you're in acute, life-threatening danger. Think being chased by a grizzly bear. Or, that feeling when you suddenly remember you left the stove on. It floods your bloodstream with quick energy so you can literally run for your life. But when cortisol stays chronically elevated day after day, it completely rewires your metabolism in the wrong direction. It breaks down your hard-earned, calorie-burning muscle, and it fiercely hoards fat, specifically visceral belly fat, because to your body, that's just the most efficient place to stash emergency fuel for a crisis.
To understand why this happens, we have to look at the autonomic nervous system, which has two main branches. On one side, you've got the sympathetic nervous system. That's your fight or flight survival mode. On the flip side is the parasympathetic nervous system, which is all about rest, digest, and heal. Since your body only has so many resources, these two systems operate just like a seesaw. If your sympathetic survival mode is switched on, your parasympathetic healing mode is forcefully shut off, meaning you literally cannot effectively digest your food, balance your hormones, or burn fat while your biology genuinely believes it's fighting for its life.
And here is our modern dilemma. Your body's alarm system is ancient. It really doesn't know the difference between a hungry bear in the woods and a highly critical email from your boss, or sitting in gridlock traffic, or just running on 4 hours of sleep. It reacts to all these modern, everyday stressors like you are in grave physical danger. And that creates this continuous, low-grade drip of cortisol all day long, trapping you in that sympathetic survival mode and effectively locking your fat stores tight.
Okay, so how do we actually shut this alarm off? Well, the answer is right inside your brain, specifically in the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe acts as your master inhibitor. Think of it like a giant light bulb. The brighter it burns, the better it is at literally turning off the darkness of that sympathetic stress response. When we actively engage our frontal lobe through a few very specific daily habits, we can manually flip that switch, kill the stress response, and turn that magical parasympathetic healing system back on.
Section 1. Fueling your body right. Let's dive into nutrition and metabolism. To send a powerful safety signal to your body, we've got some nutritional non-negotiables. First off, we absolutely must eliminate ultra-processed foods and added sugars. Why? Because they trigger wild blood sugar roller coasters, which forces your body to pump out even more cortisol just to keep you stable. We also need to get omega-6 fats down below 5 grams a day to seriously cool off internal inflammation. Oh, and here's a brilliant pro tip from the research. Start your day with lemon water. Your liver clears out old cortisol, and lemon water stimulates bile flow. Plus, it's packed with vitamin C, which your adrenal glands absolutely love.
Now, hitting your daily protein targets is absolutely crucial for keeping your muscle, but the kind of protein you eat matters just as much. We really want to balance our amino acids. So ideally, you're getting about 70% of your protein from standard whole food sources, but that remaining 30%? Try to get that from collagen-based proteins, like high-quality bone broth or gelatin. It sounds simple, but this specific balance literally soothes your digestive tract, supports deep healing, and turns down the internal inflammation that triggers those stress hormones in the first place.
Listen up, because this is a real game changer. Starvation is a massive stressor. If you've been trying to lose weight by aggressively slashing your calories, you might actually be making the whole situation much worse. Studies show that if you drop your intake down to around 1,200 calories a day, your brain interprets that as a literal famine. And what does it do? It hits the panic button. It spikes your cortisol, slams the brakes on your metabolism to conserve energy, and hoards every single ounce of fat it can. You have to fuel your body enough to convince it that it's safe to let the fat go.
All right, Section 2. We are talking about rewiring your nervous system.
Think of your breathing as a direct remote control for your nervous system. Seriously, when you breathe in, you stimulate the sympathetic stress side. But when you breathe out, you stimulate the parasympathetic calm side. By just doing some simple paced breathing, inhaling deeply for 5 seconds and exhaling slowly for 6 to 7 seconds, you are literally forcing the parasympathetic system to take the wheel. Doing this for just 1 single minute acts as nature's ultimate pause button. It sends an immediate, undeniable safety signal straight to your brain.
Another huge piece of this puzzle is fixing your circadian rhythm, because your cortisol levels ride heavily on your internal biological clock. So here's a really easy daily reset framework for you. Within an hour of waking up, get 10 to 20 minutes of natural sunlight right in your eyes to guarantee a healthy morning cortisol spike. Then around 2 p.m., cut off all the caffeine, so your cortisol can naturally drop off by the evening. And at 9 p.m., turn off those blue light screens because they block your sleep hormones and keep your stress levels artificially jacked up all night.
And hey, if you doubt how powerful these lifestyle tweaks can be, just look at the numbers. These simple, actually enjoyable activities drastically tank your stress hormones. Just taking a 20-minute walk in some green space can drop your cortisol by 20%. Laughter therapy, which is literally just watching a ridiculous video and laughing out loud, drops it by 25%. And that slow-paced breathing we just practiced? That can drop your cortisol by a staggering 30%. You don't have to go meditate silently on a mountaintop for hours. You just need to weave tiny pockets of peace into your day.
Moving into Section 3, the Japanese Lifestyle Blueprint. Let's look at this in the real world.
3.6%. While so many parts of the world are watching obesity rates absolutely skyrocket, anywhere from 15 to way over 30%, Japan has managed to keep its obesity rate at an incredibly low 3.6%. And the wildest part? They aren't doing crazy, intense boot camps every day, and they aren't obsessively logging every single calorie on their phones. Their secret is entirely built right into the natural rhythm of how they live.
When you contrast standard Western habits with the highly structured Japanese approach to food, the differences are just night and day. Where Western diets usually feature these supersized portions piled onto one massive plate, Japanese meals are traditionally served on several small plates, which just naturally manages portion size without even thinking about it. Instead of chugging sugary sodas, they hydrate constantly with green tea, which is a zero-calorie powerhouse packed with antioxidants that naturally boost metabolism. And while we tend to graze and snack all day long, keeping our digestion constantly stressed, the Japanese typically stick to 3 regulated, highly mindful meals a day.
And their daily habits are a perfect match for everything we've talked about today regarding the nervous system. They get consistent, low-intensity movement just by walking or cycling during their daily commutes, which we now know burns calories without spiking cortisol. They eat with chopsticks, which physically forces you to take smaller bites and eat slower, giving the brain time to actually register that you're full. But most importantly, eating is treated as a genuinely mindful experience. They sit down, they put away the phones and turn off the TVs, and they allow their bodies to fully drop into that parasympathetic rest and digest state while they enjoy their food.
We have covered some seriously incredible ground in this explainer today, from the hidden biology of cortisol to using nutrition as a safety signal, right down to the daily mindful habits of the healthiest populations on Earth. Remember, your metabolism isn't broken, it's just bracing for impact. So I want to leave you with one final, incredibly powerful question to think about. What is one small stressor you can eliminate, or one small calming habit you can start today to signal to your body that it's finally safe?